Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're going to talk Cavs, we'll talk Tribe, we have some college football news, and we'll get to all that. But first, and we'll also talk about the NBA Finals as well, but first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Which 17-year-old rookie set a record by striking out 15 batters in his first major league start? I will have the answer later on the podcast. We're moving on to the Cavs right now. The Cavs came away from a couple of weeks ago, Tuesdays a couple of weeks ago, NBA draft lottery with the third pick overall in the 2021 NBA draft, according to a recent report. The team's expected to see what the trade market is like for that pick. Joe Palola said in a tweet on Twitter, the Cavs could have their first-round pick on the table to acquire a veteran and accurate the rebuild. Cleveland, Minnesota, Houston, who are going to be very aggressive if they are at the top of the lottery, with perhaps putting those picks in trades for bring back young veteran players or all-star level players to accurate their rebuild. ESPN's Aaron Wojnarowski said on NBA Countdown on Tuesday night, this year's draft class is loaded with elite prospects and talent. While some drafts are often regarded as top-heavy or shallow, this year's class is extremely deep for that reason. There will certainly be a major market for the Cavaliers' selection. With Kevin Love's future with the team is uncertain, perhaps Cleveland could explore trades at the power forward position. The Cavaliers have an exciting young backcourt in Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, but they are in need of some complementary pieces. The organization recently said that it would like to return to the playoffs no later than 2022-23 season, in order to reach the goal of our timely rebuild. Now, we're going to have to wait and see what the Cavs do in this draft, but they could make some deep trades in this draft, because they do need a few more pieces of the puzzle to accurate the rebuild. And I think it's going to be another 2 to 3 years before the Cavs are back in the playoffs, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Moving on to NCAA college football news. This was a few weeks ago. The Division I Board of Directors is likely to grant relief from existing regulations that prohibit athletes from benefiting off their name, image, and likeliness, which is the NIL creating a badge to July and beyond. Sources tell CBS Sports on that date at least 6 states will have laws going into effect. The NCAA has been scrambling to put its own rules in place to govern the athletes in the remaining states. The move is strategic by the NCAA. The idea is that the association would avoid enhancing new rules that might be subject to lawsuits. For the moment, it would temporarily resolve the NCAA's role in legislating what are basically going to be nearly unregulated NIL benefits. Members increasingly nervous about the prospect after the Supreme Court highly criticized the NCAA while rendering its decision on Monday, a couple of Mondays ago, in the NCAA Alston versus Alston, excuse me. In essence, the action would be an interim waiver of existing NCAA rules that prohibit NL benefits. CBS Sports obtained an internal NCAA document titled Proposed Alternative Rules Amendment, though the document, slightly more than a page long, is still going through edits in details of the NCAA's strategy. An athlete will not be penalized for prohibiting from their name, image, and likes in states that have NIL regulations. Now, schools, excuse me, let's take that back. I'm sorry about that. Schools shall post on their websites written by policy governing NIL, prohibiting payments from boosters and in exchange for athletic performance or attendance at that school. It is important to note that restrictions against cheating to get a recruit shall cease to be applicable if it conflicts with any state's NIL law, what is labeled by law 12.5.5 shall be reviewed, revised, and reappealed or altered as appropriate. That speaks to the temporary nature of the legislation. The document may be what NCAA President Mark Emmert was referring to a couple of Wednesdays ago in a leaked memo sent to membership. He stated the NCAA is working with the divisional governance bodies to develop interim solutions. While all three NCAA divisions will have to adapt to the change through their governance progress, most of the pressure is on Division I, where all the major revenue-producing schools reside, and it is about to undergo fundamental change in terms of player compensation. For the last 2 years, the NCAA has come around of the changing the foundation of its amateurism bylaws. Allowing athletes to be paid for commercial endorsements, autographs, and the like as well. However, the NCAA has talked to the formal NIL legislation since January because of multiple concerns. What has emerged is a sense of desperation within the membership as the NCAA lacked direction. Because of the weight and mounting legal questions, athletes will likely be able to get unprecedented benefits for their talents. Following Monday's Supreme Court decision, there is a general feeling that the NCAA can't do much of anything in the near term to limit NIL compensation without subjecting itself to another lawsuit. I don't know how there are going to be a lot of regulations going forward. A source close to the discussion said, "There's really not much to regulate at this point. That should add to the most of coaches and athletic directors who don't know how, when, or whether this is going to impact recruiting and budgets. Senator Maria Cantwell and DWA chair of the Senate Committee, on Commerce, will have a federal bill prepared by July 1st, that was prepared by July 1st, to exempt the NCAA from lawsuits. The relief language, according to one source, is meant to be a bridge to that congressional bill. The bill may never come. The legislation being developed in the Senate already has become politicized. A lot of bills do, as they truly work their way through the system. In general, Republicans are seeing an antitrust exemption for the NCAA, while Democrats favor long-term medical care and extended scholarships to ensure athletes earn a degree. The board of directors will briefed on the change Thursday, a couple of Thursdays ago, during a regularly scheduled meeting. The NCAA Council will meet again Monday. Well, that was, I think, last Monday, before the board is expected to meet Tuesday, which was this past Tuesday, and which is last Tuesday, and last Tuesday and Wednesday, and approve the change if it comes Wednesday, which was last Wednesday. The relief would be put into place just one day before NIL laws go into effect, which I think that did happen. Thursday, which was last Thursday, in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, New Mexico, and Texas. The Oregon State legislature also passed an NIL bill the week that is headed to Governor Kate Brown's desk. CBS Sports previously reported there will be no action from the NCAA this week. However, a council source said Wednesday expected to see something to contemplate before the weekend. Probably an updated version what they sent out earlier this week. That source added, "This is insane." An alternate proposal introduced last week, which was the week before that, it is less likely to be adopted, despite having the support of the ACC, PAC, Pac-12, and SEC, among other smaller division conferences. It involves athletes going directly to schools, and conference to negotiate NIL deals. That would certainly limit legal liability for the NCAA athletes who didn't like an offer at one school, would have hundreds of others from which to choose, at least diminishing the possibility of an antitrust action. As of Sunday, it was questionable whether the proposal could reach their hold of a passage by the NCAA Council. The alternate proposal would require 75% support from the Council just to be considered for passage. That was before the Supreme Court decision. There are a bunch of the membership that are just allowing for guidance, or for claiming for guidance that is there more litigation risk. And I'll be back to continue this story, and we'll reveal the trivia answer to today's trivia question and talk Tribe and NBA Finals. Stay with us.